Hello, my name is Jaden Petty, and this is my presentation on the Spirit-Empowered Church. One of the core functions of Christianity is that we have access to the Holy Spirit, and that the Holy Spirit empowers us and walks with us on all the days of our lives. Today, I will go over a few aspects that as a church, we need to make sure that the Holy Spirit is at the center of, and that we are allowing the Holy Spirit to guide us in all of these areas. The Holy Spirit is what drives the church. In the beginning of Acts, we see the introduction of the Holy Spirit and the early development of the church, and these things go hand in hand. The filling of the Holy Spirit and the power given to us by the Spirit is what drove the early growth of the church and is the same power that drives the growth in the church that we see today. One of the biggest differences between Judaism and Christianity is the fact that we have the power of the Holy Spirit in us. Everything the church does needs to have the Holy Spirit at the center. The church is the most healthy when it is Spirit-led, from the pastors and the leaders all the way down to the common attenders. The decisions and the movement of the church needs to be led by the Spirit. When we as a church allow the Spirit to guide us in all of our decisions and all of our movements and all that we do, we see the church at the most healthy. In all of our lives, we deal with change. Change is inevitable. As we get older, we go through new stages of life. We lose and gain friends. We overall just see different areas of our life. From small changes to big ones, the Holy Spirit should be involved and sought after throughout each change. We as Christians want the Holy Spirit to guide us through all of life's changes. This is the same in the church. As the church goes through trials and changes, we need to make sure that we are chasing what the Spirit wants for us in each change. When the church is pursuing the Spirit through change and allowing the influence of the Spirit to do His will, we will see great things for the church. It is when we make changes according to our own will that we see major issues come up. What comes with change is vision. Often, vision is the first part of change and can even come years before actual change occurs. For example, the church I attend currently just opened a new auditorium. While this only happened a year ago, the pastors and leaders had been envisioning and planning for this step for over 10 years. We all have visions and goals of where we want to be, what we want our ministry to look like in the future, but what is most important is that we shape our vision around what the Spirit has for us. Meaning we should be spending much time in prayer and fasting and in worship, seeking out what the Lord has for us. If we try and envision our future and envision our goals without the Holy Spirit being involved, it can be easy for us to get sidetracked and not go in the direction that this Holy Spirit has for us. One of the greatest things about Jesus dying and the Holy Spirit coming upon us is the priesthood in which all of us as Christians get to partake in. Before Jesus died on the cross, followers of God had to go to a priest to get to God, using a priest as a middleman. Whereas now, we get to all go to God on our own and have personal interaction with the Father because of the Holy Spirit every single day. Instead of the temple being the holy place where God dwells, we now are the temples of God, where the Holy Spirit dwells in us. This is so incredible and powerful and amazing. The Bible is a story of us falling away from Christ, not being able to have a relationship with Him because of our sin, and God redeeming us so that we can have a relationship with Him again. And the Spirit dwelling in us is one of the big steps to fully mending the relationship between God the Father and His children. Worship is such a huge portion of our relationship with God. Worship should fill all of our days of our lives. Worship plays out in many ways, one way being giving. We worship by being willing to give up our resources, our time, and our desires of the flesh. We also worship in song when we come together as a congregation and as we sing praises in our personal time. We worship through consistent prayer and fasting, trying to get closer to God. We also worship with our work, letting everything we do be worship to the Lord, whether at our jobs or volunteering in various ways, whether that's at a church, coaching a kid's team, or whatever it may be. The goal as a Christian is to let all aspects of our lives be an act of worship, which is a very hard thing to complete, but we should be striving to be filled with the Spirit and to allow the Spirit to form and shape our lives so that we may get to a place as we walk with the Spirit to where our lives become filled with worship and that everything we do revolves around the Holy Spirit and revolves around worshiping God.